Yeah, this is the meme of the week. It was one that you posted, Will.
Oh, I found that one. Yeah.
Is this a Rayman thing?
No, you mean you yoinked it?
Oh, it's just man. It's not Rayman. It's just regular man.
Yeah.
There's no Ray.
Okay, I don't get it.
It's a man.
They've cut out the Ray part of it, and it's just man 1, man 2.
No, right? No, I get that. I got.
No,
that
you see,
bit.
Sam, it's funny, right? Because usually it's Rayman, who's a cartoon character, but now it's just man.
And then man Origins, he is a child.
And then man Origins, he's a child. Yeah. Oh, it's funny, Sam.
The origin of man. You get it? Do you get it? Do you get it?
Oh.
Sam, please say you get it.
Do you get it? Don't leave me hanging. Don't leave me hanging. Do you get it? Let's get this fucking train wreck on the go.
I hope you recorded that. That would have been a good shot.
I'm always recording. That's my secret, right? Never say anything too incriminating because I've probably got it on footage. So, if any of you are like suddenly worried, I have footage.
Or just
somewhere.
do a Steve and say something incriminating and then follow it up with a bunch of racial slurs that
Yeah.
no one that we can't podcast.
No, I never said racial slurs.
Joke's on you, I'll still put it up.
I said the T word.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. We're back for another week, and we're here with all our gaming news and everything we've been playing. So, as always, I am the host, Josh, aka BottlerWorks. I'm here with Will Olivemeister.
Hello, I'm Will or Olivemeister, and I never got past man Origins, it feels like.
That was hard. That was really hard, that one. Steve, Quikwix.
Hi, I'm Steve, and one day I'm going to be your stepdad, so let's get along now.
And Sammeh.
Hi, I'm Sam, and every time I laugh or sneeze, my back hurts today. So
Oh no, getting
this
old.
is going to be a
You've
fun
come to the right
time.
place then, haven't you?
Yeah.
No laughs here.
Right, so before we get started and jump into anything, massive,
Oh no.
I've actually got something to show the three of you.
Oh, good.
You don't know.
Surprise.
You don't know about this at all. I've been doing this for a few weeks, so hopefully this all works. This isn't going to be very good for listeners.
Get
But
fucked,
if you're,
listener.
screw the listeners on this audio podcast. But if you're watching, you'll see if I hit this button here, we should have now.
What?
Oh my god.
We have 4 new talking heads.
What the fuck? I'm so buff.
You're really.
I'm so
buff.
handsome now.
I immediately had to say, Josh, yours actually looks really good.
Yeah.
the
So
rest of us look like
You
shit.
have done
No,
Will
no.
a great service there.
so I worked with Suds Arts, and I commissioned some new heads for us. So there is some
I was going to say my imp looks familiar.
very very similar. There's
He looks like he's quite a little charming devil now.
he is, isn't
Little
he?
imp.
Yeah. There's some more like key art. So basically, we have some new renders as opposed to like random like art that I just threw
We're
threw
thematic
together.
now.
We are thematic. We all match.
So this is why my emote was delayed, because he was
I-
working on another commission.
I do not match, but
You
then that's me. I did not give much to work with.
You match well enough. That's fine. But yes,
I
we've got
love them.
those. And there's I'll show you the actual
I love
individual. I'll show you the individual ones.
I love them.
There's Buff Will.
Yeah, nice.
Really buff
Sons,
Will.
if you're
Also-
listening, you've done me a great credit there, yeah.
I see him and I'm like, that's 6 foot tall, Will, right there. That, like,
Yeah.
So we've got that one.
That Will would beat me up and take my lunch money.
There's Steve. So you say Suds has done a lot of your art anyway for your
Yeah.
Twitch. So
It looks very similar to my Twitch panels, yeah.
there's Sam in his little black mage hat,
yeah.
Sock puppet.
and then there's me. I actually wear glasses. All my other pictures don't have me with glasses, but there you go. And now I have glasses on.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, I have
nice.
one criticism though.
Yeah.
Oh.
I wish Will's headset had cat ears.
No, it's too late now.
Oh,
I'm not made of money. I can't afford that. But yeah, thank you, Suds.
This is awesome.
This came out. It came out really well.
Thank you, Suds.
I'm really happy
Yeah,
with this.
that's great.
So this is this piece of art here. This is going to be the YouTube banner. I just think
Yeah.
it looks. I
Nice.
think it looks nice. So yeah. So I thought I'd get that done. It's nice to have it all match and be thematic, right?
I've now
Yeah,
had
yeah.
2 different artists draw an Ewok with VV's from Final Fantasy IX's hat on. I guess that's just my thing now.
I guess that is your
Your
thing.
thing.
It's every time you go on. Is it like Erin's it's not her Instagram, I don't think. It's one of the things she does. And it's got that picture. It always throws me off because I'm like, it's
she
Sam.
said it's one of her favourites, so she uses it.
Claimed. You've claimed it now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so...
Well, no, I'm going to have to start paying royalties.
Yeah.
Erin's going to come and take my lunch money.
She's going to come back and claim her own art. But yeah, so moving on from that, now we have new Talking Heads podcast, I guess 3.0 at this point. I've changed it quite a few times. But yeah, who's been playing some video games this week? Anyone want to go first before I throw the ball at someone, like dodgeball?
I mean, I could go first because I think some of us have been playing this game, and that is Monster Hunter Sunbreak.
Oh yeah, we'll go straight into that then. You start talking.
Going to be a big one.
I'll bring up a picture.
Well, I finished the last of the main story bosses. I looked it up, and there are a couple more bosses afterwards, but I have powered through.
Yeah.
And I love this expansion so much. It's become a bit of a meme talking about Monster Hunter.
Yeah, I didn't think you liked Monster Hunter
in my Twitch, but I love this expansion because although I will say it's very slow at the start.
Yeah.
I streamed it thinking like I streamed it being like, oh, it would be fun to like just do one little stream of it, and it was just a lot. There was a couple new monsters at the start, but it was like mostly old stuff, and I was like, oh, this isn't very good. But I was like, but it reviewed so well, and but then later, they've backloaded all the monsters, all the new monsters because they are a bit more difficult.
Yeah.
So they are like near the end. It gets like when you get to like Master Rank 3 or so, it starts getting like really good.
Also, they straight up have Master Rank now.
Yeah, it's Master Rank. And there's only, as far as I know, there's only one rank, so there's no like Alpha. Apparently, there was in World.
Because what is it? There's low rank, high rank, and then
now Master rank.
Yeah. So they're Master Rank versions of the base monsters that are now harder again.
I think it's basically every single monster plus a bunch, like a lot of new ones.
Yeah, because the older games used to have G rank, which I don't think is a thing anymore. I think it's Master Rank. I think World had Master Rank as well instead of G rank.
I asked my brother, and he said World had Master Rank and then Alpha Rank as well. And
I don't remember Alpha Rank.
As far as I can tell, there's no Alpha Rank in this one so far. So
yeah.
But yeah, I've been really enjoying it. I will say the new hub area is so convenient and so good because in the original base game you'd have to be like go through this loading screen to get to one area, then go through this loading screen to sort out your buddies.
Yeah.
And now it's all condensed into one tiny little town, and rather than being like 4 NPCs, it's like, oh, one NPC can handle all the buddy stuff. And
that's just like that's Monster Hunter Rise in a nutshell, though, isn't it? They just keep condensing and simplifying the game for both good and bad, I guess, because it's like you say like you can now go here and do everything all in one NPC, and it's like cool, but I get it's more convenient, but it's nice to go around and talk to different NPCs.
Yeah, but I am extremely anal about it, and every single time I finish mission, I have to go to every single NPC and be like, okay, does this one have anything for me? Does this one have anything for So
but they tell you if they have anything for you.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do. Sometimes they.
No, they do. They have speech bubbles.
Okay.
And if it's your own stuff that you've sent out, you should be keeping track of it anyway. So.
And I should be, but I forget every time.
Also, there were no load screens in the town at Rise.
To get from the Buddy Plaza and to the hub.
They're
not loading, but transitions.
There's transitions.
Yeah, they're load screens on Switch.
Yeah. I didn't go to
okay, understood.
I don't know fancy words. But they've also done some nice quality of life improvements. Like you can eventually unlock the ability to change all your Palico's skills and abilities and stuff, and your Palamutes as well. So you don't need to be farming. After every mission, you get a selection of 6.
Yeah.
So you're praying for the god combination.
Yeah.
But now you don't need to do that. You can just get whatever you want.
That was the super min max thing. Though.
Yeah.
Which is the perfect stuff.
You're talking about mechanics that I do not engage with at all.
Oh no, I care about
that, to be fair, this expansion is kind of all that stuff so far for me has been like it'll pop up, it'll be like, here's a new mechanic, and I'll be like, okay, I don't care about this, and then at the moment now there's this thing you can do where there were certain moves you could switch around.
Yeah.
Now there is the option to switch them mid fight, and you can have multiple loadouts ready to go, and it's like I don't care.
I'm playing.
This is so pointless.
I'm playing bowgun. I right click to aim and left click the monster's face.
Yeah.
See, I haven't engaged with that too much because I'm playing Sword and Shield, and I was just like, well, how I've been playing previously was working for me. But then later on, I got a sort. They gave everyone 2 new skills as well.
Yeah.
So and one of them is for Sword and Shield is an ability to for 1 wire bug cost you can have more stun chance with your weapons. It like buffs your sword.
Okay.
So that's very good to and there's also combos that you can do. Like it's kind of like again min maxi where you look it up, but you can kind of be like, oh, with this skill I can. Then combo it into another skill which previously you couldn't do because they were like shared the same slot.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's a bit min maxy, but it's a lot of fun. And
I just feel like this game more than others Monster Hunters is like all they need to do is make fun monsters for me to fight.
Yes.
Make a bunch of new areas and new fun monsters for me to fight. And then there's a systems guy chained to a desk in Capcom. And he's like, oh, but what if I gave you the ability to switch your moves on the fly mid-fight? And someone's just like, whatever, dude.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, you do that. And he keeps adding these little extra systems that I just don't care about.
We'll put it in the game, but we're not paying you for it.
Yeah.
I don't mind all of that. Like it's like a small little thing. Again, for the most part, if you played the original Monster Hunter Rise, you can be fine not switching your skills. This is more of you want to be fancy with it,
Yeah,
it's
there if you want it.
Yeah, it's there if you want it. It's all optional. And another new thing that they've added, which I think they've announced previously, so I'm going to say it's not a spoiler, is solo missions, where you do something with an NPC, and those have been a lot of fun as well because the randoms. I will say, the randoms have been testing me recently. Like you go in, like you queue up for a monster, you join one, and you go to the chest, and they've taken all the meds.
Oh really? Who the fuck takes all the
wow,
meds?
A lot of people.
Yeah, good lord.
A lot of people have been doing that, and I'm like, And then people also, because there's been a lot of older monsters, I think they assume that they don't need to upgrade their gear anymore. So a lot of people have been going into these fights and being one shot on the first attack, and then eventually just wipes it. And
that's
it's like,
literally ridiculous. The game is the game is upgrading your gear.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
I think because they recently gave you like good armor, like catch up armor, so people are just like, oh, that'll be fine, and they just don't upgrade their gear and then they die. And I've had a mission fail, and then I queue up again instantly, or I start the mission again instantly. And that same person joined, and the first thing I did was click good under list and click remove player. I'm like, not today.
You got to give it a minute. You got to let them go somewhere else first.
That's good. I'm glad to hear this game picks up because it is very much like it starts. It throws one new monster at you, and then me and Aaron have been playing through it today, and I think we've gotten to like midway through Master Rank 2, and we haven't seen a single other new monster.
I would say.
No.
I would say once you get to Hunter Rank 3, it then picks up and it just gets stronger as you go. There's like, oh, it's now like one new monster thing. Now it's like, oh, there's 2, and then now there's 3.
Right. Okay. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Because it's like it hits you with the crab, the daimyo, which is a really fun monster to fight.
Yeah.
But then it was like, all right, back to the back to the Volvodon, back to the Kula Yaku and all that, and it's like, they're harder, but you're also stronger, so it just feels like you're fighting.
So it's the same fight. Yeah,
it's just the same fight again. Yeah.
Do they have any new moves that you've noticed?
Little frustrating. No, not really.
I have noticed a couple of times where it's like they do something different. I'm like, I'm not sure if it's just I didn't fight that monster enough to see that move before, or if it's like a brand new move.
Yeah, certain monsters in the older games, at least on the harder modes, they would have the odd new move here and there, like nothing crazy, but
I'm sure they do, but it's not anything like if you were like me, where you played a bunch of Rise when it came out, then stopped to wait for Sunbreak.
Yeah.
It's like, we're fighting a Lagombi and he throws a snowball at me and then he throws another one. And then I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much how I remember that fight going. It's like,
yeah, for
really
me, like,
much
I did play a lot just before Sunbreak came out, so I have some more recent memories of these monsters, and it does seem like it might be like, oh, like this one now waggles his tail a bit more, like during a move, or this one will now spin like his 180 spin is now a 360 spin.
What sick!
So,
he's got moves. He's got like new flourishes.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I have been absolutely. Again, at the start, it was iffy. I was like, "Oh, is this going to be good?" But then it picks up, and I'm like, "I'm addicted. I'm loving it. I'm ready to grind."
Well, the best thing about this is,
armor.
well, now that you've finished Sunbreak, you can finally play World.
I still want to grind Sunbreak.
Have you not played World yet?
I've not played World. It's on the same summer sale, but I was like, I'm gonna play Sunbreak. I'll get it on the next sale and play some of that.
My summarization of I haven't played Sunbreak yet, but my summary of Monster Hunter Rise is like, wow, this game is great. It's not as good as World though.
Yeah,
because for me with Monster Hunter, I played like the first zone of the Wii U one. I didn't get past that, and I never played World. So this was like the first time I really got into a Monster Hunter game, and I played on Switch with Josh, Laura, and Sam.
Yeah.
And then I played again on PC, and I love it to bits. I'm like, it feels very good to like. It feels like a game where it's casual enough for me to enjoy, but there's like a mastery to it.
Or
I can get better.
Rise feels like the product of the fact that it was initially Switch exclusive, right? Mm-hmm. It was like, here's Monster Hunter. It's more actiony, but you can get in and out of a fight in like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Perfect for the Switch if you're on like a train or you want to play quick. Whereas, Rise, is still really good. The other Monster Hunters and, World before it, it's more tracking. There's a lot more to a fight than just get in, slap it, and then leave.
I think you can spend like 3 hours in Monster Hunter World doing a story mission.
Yeah.
Because you've got to just run around, do several track-ins, do several hunts. Whereas Monster Hunter Rise is just like mission.
Yeah.
I think if you because I know Erin, when I played World with her, she enjoyed it, but it didn't quite click for her, I don't think.
Yeah.
And then it's like, but now she's playing Rise, she's like, oh, maybe I could go back and check out. Because Rise is like, for all I think it has a lot of systems bloat, it is a lot simpler to get into.
It's a hell of a lot simpler, yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about tracking or anything. It's just more about getting in and fighting monsters. And then, World is a lot more involved.
Yeah, whenever I play with Laura, she's a long-term Monster Hunter vet. And when we first played Rise, we were all having fun. She was like, I can't believe they've done this. I can't believe they've done that now. I can't believe it's like, and they're like, as far as a new player goes, they're like kind of good quality of life stuff, but it's like, it's not, it kind of loses what Monster Hunter kind of was, I guess, which is like it's like, I think, I can't remember who I was talking to about it, but how you didn't know where monsters were, you had to find them, and then if they ran away, if you didn't paintball them, you had no clue where they'd gone to, so you had to track them again.
Yeah, the paintball. Yeah.
Just bits like that just aren't in this game. And it always sounds like I'm like slating this game. I do really like Rise, but it does feel like it's getting a bit too arcadey, I guess.
The biggest issue of Monster Hunter Rise is Monster Hunter World exists.
Yeah. World was
so
good.
Rise is a great game. It is a great game. It's just Monster Hunter World. I just remember playing it and being like, I can just play Monster Hunter with all of my friends, and it's been built for the PC, so it's like an actual world.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
See, I am excited now once I'm done with Rise, I'm excited to give World a shot, but I'm also like, I feel like everyone's done with World. So it's like, is it just going to be me playing by myself?
You'll at the very least find randoms. There'll be people still playing World multiplayer.
But as I said, Monster Hunter randoms so far have been...
I would also argue Monster Hunter World was really fun to play solo and go at your own pace.
Yeah.
Whereas Rise, I never... doing Monster Hunter Rise solo was never as fun.
Yeah, I was going to say, I also think Rise is a better multiplayer experience because it doesn't lock anything. Do you remember World has the stupid, you have to watch the intro cutscene for a monster, then bail, and then invite everyone again?
Oh,
if you
I forgot about that,
watch the cutscene, you can't join that mission because it's like, you haven't watched this cutscene yet.
Yeah, which was very stupid. So, whereas contrast to Rise, it's like, me and Aaron started up, we did that first quest with the crab, and then it's like, hey, here's the cutscene to get on the boat to the new thing. And then I pop into the hub, the new hub, and Aaron just pops up behind me, and I'm like, oh, sweet, okay, you're here, great, we don't have to fiddle with that again, nice.
Yeah.
I just didn't expect that.
And I will say one small problem with Sunbreak as well, like it was at the beginning of Rise, is you go to the new hub, you are greeted with 10 million tutorials all at once.
yeah.
They could do a better job of spacing it out, because it's like, oh, well, you've got this here, and this here, and this new feature, and this new feature.
Yeah. But that's what I mean about just systems bloat, where it's like they built a bunch of new stuff and put it in Rise, which is like, fine. Some of it was like ease of access stuff. And then in this one, there's like, you go to the Dango station, the thing where you eat meals before every mission to get some buffs. And it's like, here's a mini game we've built into the Dango thing where you can gamble to get more. And I'm like, did it need this? Did I need a Dango eating mini game? Yeah, I don't read any of this sort of thing. It's like, yeah, I sound like I'm down on it, but I'm really enjoying it so far. Even fighting old monsters, it's kind of just like, hey, remember that guy? That wasn't he fun to fight? And then you fight him
You're
again.
in and out in 5 minutes, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
You streamlined it so much. It's like, 10 minutes. That was a long fight, that one.
Yeah, especially coming off of Rise Endgame, where we've got our builds and we've got all our gems and talismans and decorations and things. And I feel like, super, super powerful at the moment in Rise. And then it's like, so we're kind of just dunking on these old monsters, which is, it's fun. It can be fun.
But it's but it just feels like the base game. Doesn't feel like
I wish they
Sunbreak.
teased a bit more new content, because like some of them take place in the new map, which is fun. But there was like, we did a run of missions where it was like, this old guy in the desert, the what's his name, the baggy in the snowfields, and it's like, all right, I guess I'll do that again. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But as I said, that's mostly like, that's mostly at the start, and then you do fight older monsters as you go up, because like I think there's every old monster's back in this one in Master Rank.
Yeah.
But there's a better cadence of new and old.
Is that like, what's like the ballpark for the amount of new monsters?
I think I looked it up, and it was 18 new monsters, maybe 16.
Okay,
I think they're including the 2 that are coming for free in the August update.
Oh yeah, they're doing the same thing with this that they did with the base game on Switch, which was when the game first came out on Switch. This was before PC. They were like, the first major update is coming 1 month after launch, and it's got like 4 new monsters. And people were like, oh, sick, that's so generous. And then it just turned out when the game released, it didn't have an ending. It just wasn't finished.
This one, I believe, it feels like an ending, but
okay,
I don't know.
I mean, is you in Monster Hunter for the story? I don't care.
I will say, eventually I just started skipping the cutscenes and the text.
Oh yeah,
I do want to get back and watch them, but they do seem like they're pretty like good. But I skipped because I'll watch them all at the end, because I was like, I want to fight monsters. Give me me armor.
Do you play in English, Japanese, or Monster Hunter language?
I play in English, you weeb.
Oh.
I play in Monster Hunter, and it's really funny because my guy sounds super cool in Monster Hunter language, and then I can hear Erin's PC from the other side of the room, and she will be playing, and my guy sounds like an absolute dork in English.
See, I need to play in English, because sometimes when you're carving, he says, "Daddy needs a new pair of boots," and I'm like, "Yes, okay. Daddy does."
We'll end on that, I think.
I can only hear the sounds of my hunting horn, so
yeah, that's all you need. So, what have you been playing this week, Sam?
So this weekend, the playtest was back.
Yeah.
Spoke about this before, and I'm now trying to satisfy that craving again.
Yeah. I meant to check it out because you said it was coming up, but I just haven't had time, unfortunately.
The playtest ends midday on Tuesday.
Oh, so it's not just the weekend?
No, this one's a little bit longer than the last one. That's cool. And there's some new added stuff, so I've been playing that this weekend. Still
I might try
carrying
that
on.
out. Actually, that seems like a good me and Aaron game.
I highly recommend it. It's just
Yeah.
it's just such a nice game to just sit down and play.
Yeah.
Still carrying on with Terraria, but it's hard to get. We've got our Terraria group now, and it's like, well, I am the host of the world, so I'm like, well, people can play, but we're not gonna kill bosses unless everyone's here, because I don't want to progress without people. So that's a little bit iffy because everyone's work times are different.
It's always tricky trying to sort that out.
Yeah. So the big game that I started playing, need to get back to, and it is like so much more than I thought it would be, was the Gundam game I got on the Steam sale, called SD Gundam G Generation Cross Rays.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! SD Gundam G Cross. That'll be enough to find it. There we go.
Watching I watched Sam play this because he streamed it to Discord, and watching Sam play this was so much fun.
Right, so let me start with, this game doesn't have a tutorial, right? But it's like a permadeath XCOM Fire Emblem, like XCOM like in the sense it's got all the permadeath and there's some like management stuff you need to do. And the gameplay mechanics is Fire Emblem.
Right.
Which also, for anyone who's played original Fire Emblem games, were also permadeath. The newer ones, I think, less so. But that game just throws you in, gives you some, like, a little bit of story, and then, like, I've got two of my friends who've watched the anime, being like, oh yeah, I remember that guy. Oh yeah, this happened. And then, like, I remember one cutscene, one guy just turns around to one girl and just goes, "I'll kill you," and then just walks off. And I'm like, that's the only thing he said. Yeah, you can't just give me a cutscene with that.
Perfectly normal interaction.
Yeah, you don't do that every day.
Expect me to just understand what's going on, and then it throws you in the mission. And then it's like, deploy a squad. So I'm like, cool, I'll deploy this squad. And then it has units in it. So it's like, cool. And then I've got all these attacks which have all these variables and all these extra effects, but I can't read what they do, and there's no tutorial. And so my first mission, I pretty much got wiped out immediately.
That was the funniest part, was we were watching you, and we spent maybe half an hour, like, it was like a group of us watching Sam play this game, and it was kind of like a group exercise in like a team building thing about how to work this game. So we were saying like, okay, no, but you move there, and then you select this guy, and then you deploy this guy, and then if you do this, then you can attack. And then the end of that was like, Sam was like, all right, end turn. And then the enemy squad just rolls over and blows up all these guys. And we were like, all right, that clearly wasn't what we were supposed to do.
And then, like, I remember I would end one turn and it'd be like, you have a unit that hasn't done anything yet. And I'm there like, no, I don't. All of my units are done. Where's this mystery unit you're telling me hasn't done anything?
You didn't Gundam transform your unit into another unit to then take that turn or something.
So, that game, like, I want to like it.
Yeah.
And I want to understand it. But I've never, ever underestimated how important a tutorial is to a game that has such intricate mechanics. You know?
Yeah.
I don't need a tutorial for a game like Dynasty Warriors, where it's, press square to kill dudes.
Yeah.
I do when the game literally gives me over 100 different characters, all with their varying different stats and passive abilities, and just says, yeah, mate, go for it.
Just go for it. Yeah, just wing it.
It honestly felt like this was like you'd accidentally dropped into like the last mission of the game, you know, somehow.
Yeah.
It just explained literally nothing.
Yeah, like
it was like from main menu to Sam getting absolutely destroyed by the AI was like maybe 30 seconds flat. It was insane.
Yeah, like a prompt comes up and says, use everything you've learned to win the fight. So I don't learn anything.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
But like, the game's cool because it's got, like, I don't know whether it's anime or other games, but it's got a collection of like 15 different stories that you can play through. So it's cool in that regard. I need to find time and mental capacity to get through it and start understanding it.
It seems like this is a game for Gundam fans, like hardcore Gundam fans, by the sounds of it.
Yeah. And I want to like it because the gameplay loop, even as I don't understand it, is still fun.
Yeah.
And it is Gundams. I like to look at Gundams. They look cool.
Gundams are cool.
But man, it's gonna take me. I've been looking through discussions and guides, and everyone still just uses like jargon, like, "Oh, well, once you've got like 5 MA/MS units, you'll be fine." And I'm like, "What is an MA/MS unit?" This is a beginner guide.
This sounds like when I was playing Factorio, and I got further than I normally get, and I was like trying to work out trains and stuff, right, to like move stuff around, and it was complicated enough that I was like, I don't really know what I'm doing. There's got to be some like easy way of doing this to like work it out. I remember going on YouTube and typing in like how to use trains Factorio, and there were a bunch of videos where it was like Factorio trains beginner's guide, and they were like 2-hour long videos. And I was like, man, I can't do that.
I had that with a light bow gun for Monster Hunter. I was like, let me look up a guide, and it was like 2 hours. I was like, nope.
Can you condense this into 50 seconds for me?
So that's a game. I hope I get through it because I'm certain I will enjoy it once it clicks.
Yeah.
But my god, the game doesn't help us.
Yeah,
you're give me a tutorial.
You're more determined than I would be. I probably would have just benched it and been like, maybe not. I tried.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. Sam said, I've got this Gundam/Fire Emblem/XCOM game, and I'm like, I like all of those things. I mean, I like Gundam from a distance. I think robots are cool. Yeah. I've never really engaged with it. But and then I watched 10 minutes of Sam playing that game, and I thought to myself, no, you can safely let this one pass you by.
Yeah.
This might be too much.
I feel like Gundam, like you say, is one of the things that I admire from a distance, because I feel like if I get just a little bit too close, someone will come out of nowhere and ambush me and go, "Oh, what are your thoughts on XYZ?" And I'll be like, robot looks cool, bye."
or like I'll blink and I'll have a room full of like Gunpla, figurines that I've custom painted and stuff. Like, oh, where'd all my money go?
Yeah, Erin's walking out the front door with a pack suitcase.
yeah. But I've got my MA/MS unit, Erin. You don't understand.
Goodbye, Will. No, that's cool. Do you have any final things to say, Sam? Were you happy with that?
Oh yes, that's my game of the. That's my game.
Game of the year.
Didn't understand a single thing. Game of the year.
Next week I can come back and be like, I have ascended.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna crack the code. Yeah.
I have spent £1,700 on Gundam models. All right, then go on then, Will. What have you been playing?
I haven't played an awful lot. Not anything I really want to talk about. Yeah. I've been dabbling in. I picked up another game in the summer sale.
Okay.
I bought, although I think it was actually just before the summer sale, I bought Dragon's Dogma.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Nice. I've got that as well.
I have that as well.
I have tried to play this game several times at this point. Once on the PlayStation 3, once on the Xbox, and now again on the PC. And I still don't know if I like that game. It's got a lot of really fun things going for it. The fact that it commits to making you walk everywhere is like a choice. One that may end up. There is fast travel, but as far as I understand it, there used to be basically no fast travel at all. And then in this one, they like begrudgingly were like, "All right, here's a Hearthstone, so you can get back to the main town whenever you want." Yeah,
you're
all
wrong,
right,
but
if you want to spoil it for yourself, yeah. So the setup is it's kind of like a action RPG, kind of like Dark Souls, but more anime. The combat is a lot more it's a lot faster, a lot more fluid. Everything's bigger and flashier.
Yeah, I get like D&D vibes from this game.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. And you make a character, and then you make a main. They're called pawns, and they basically are like your traveling companion. They do everything you tell them to, and then you get to hire 2 more pawns who are basically all player created. So when I go to the like hub, a bunch of characters will be walking around, and some of them will be like, "Oh, your friend Steve made this pawn," and it's literally always a giant woman with huge tits. I'm not calling you out specifically, Steve. I just mean it literally.
Well, that is probably accurate.
All anyone is making.
I haven't played the game yet, but how did you know what I was thinking I was going to make?
I remember people making a lot of. There were so many guts characters from Berserk, because this game is very Berserk, I think.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna keep playing it. It's just, it does this thing where it's like I'll pick up a quest, or it feels like there is a right way to do this game, like to play through this game. And every now and like every other quest I pick up, it'll be like, go here and fight this guy, and I'll be like, oh, you go here, kill 10 goblins, and I'm like, cool, that sounds like a nice simple quest.
Yeah.
And then I follow the map marker, and it takes me like maybe 10-15 minutes to run over there, because the world is not huge, but it's pretty substantial, you know. And you got to fight stuff on the way, and there's like a day-night cycle and stuff. Different stuff comes out at night and stuff like that. And then I'll get over there, and then they'll just wipe the floor with me, and I'll be like, okay, I clearly wasn't supposed to be doing this quest yet, so I will back to base. That's another 10-15 minutes, because I only just found out I have a Hearthstone. And then it's like, all right, pick up another quest, and then it's like, go out. No, wasn't supposed to do that one either.
Kill 15 goblins.
Yeah. So then I was like, all right, fuck that. I'm going to look up a walkthrough. I'm just going to see it. I'm not going to look at any details. I'm just going to be like, what order do you want me to do things?
Yeah.
And that's when you find out that a lot of the quests are missable, and there's multiple endings.
I remember that. Yeah.
You have to and it can be as stuff like, there are choices as well, like dialogue choices that you have to make, and some of them will affect the story and some of them won't. There are just like chance encounters that you can miss, like you find people being attacked, and if you don't rescue them, you'll never know, and they'll never play a part in the story. And so then it becomes like, I'll be reading this walkthrough, and it'll be like, all right, now go talk to this guy, he's got a quest for you. And it's like, okay, head over to this bandit camp, and this guy's got a quest for you. He's not there. And it's like, okay, right, whereabouts did I lose the thread?
What have you done wrong?
What did I do wrong? Why is this guy not appearing? And then I'll be like, all right, maybe I'll come back later. And then it's like, no, now he's disappeared forever. And it's like, I really kind of enjoy it because of how, one, the world feels super dangerous, which is like, it reminds me of like old Dark Souls, and 2, there is a lot of really like interesting mechanics. Like I think the pawn thing is a really fun idea.
When people talk about Dragon's Dogma, a lot of the topic is normally on the pawns.
Yeah.
They sort of help you in this, that, and the other, and they're all character created and stuff. Yeah,
and that's it's a cool system. I really like it. I wish they were a little. So it's weird. Sometimes they'll be super smart, and then sometimes the AI can just like break, and I'll just be like, I'll have done my 10 to 15 minute jog over to a mission, and realize that somewhere along the way, one of the pawns just wandered off, and I have no idea. So it's like, right, I'm down to 3 people now in my 4-man party, and that was my healer, and I've no idea where they've gone off to.
Yeah,
so,
they're just gone now. It's fine.
Yeah, they literally just left, and now I have to go get another one. Yeah,
I think a lot of. Sorry, you go, Steve.
I was gonna say, I assume there'll be DLC of like a leash, so you can keep them.
Well, it'll be a sequel, so.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's why I'm playing, because they announced the sequel.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like a lot of the problems you have with this could be alleviated with a sequel and leaving a really strong game with quality of life stuff?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like this is really close to a real, I can see why it's a cult classic, because it does some really great things, but it shoots itself in the foot at every other opportunity, where I'm just like, I just basically rage quit the other night because it doesn't ever checkpoint you. So I did this whole dungeon, and then it was like a weird moment where I did the dungeon, and then I was like, oh, I could, I did the quest, but what if I went into the next, there's a tunnel there, I'm going to follow that and see where that goes. And then in the next room, I got one shot by this skeleton that just appeared out of nowhere. And it was like, all right, 3 hours progress gone.
Yeah,
sucker.
learn your place.
Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.
I remember. So your kind of experience with this game, I think I've had something similar in the past. I say I think because it's just been over the span of decades. How old is this game? Is it like mid
2006 or something?
Yeah, like mid to late
2000s.
I played this on PS3, I think, and got like hardly anywhere with it. So it's just too hard. I'm not into this.
Yeah.
And then I just stopped. And then I guess at some point I played it again because with all the new talk about Dragon's Dogma 2, I was like, like loads of people were picking it up, and because it was on Steam sale, I think for what, like £2 or £3 or something. It was really cheap.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, fine, I'll give it another shot. You know, I'll give it another fair try. Went to buy it, and I already owned it. don't know when that happened. I've played it. Apparently, I have playtime on it on PC.
Yeah.
And then I can't have stuck with it for long there either because I don't remember it. So and now what you're describing and the fact that I've tried so many times, I'm thinking like, I think I'll just wait for the sequel.
Yeah. It's a really. I'm gonna keep playing. Maybe I'll come back next week and be like, "No, I was completely
best
wrong."
game ever.
Like Sam with Gundam. I'll be like, "This is the greatest game of all time."
I think we should at least log on and make characters so we can have multiple big boobied women to pick from.
That's true.
That would be nice. Yeah, my stock is running out.
Yeah, I'll make you a character. How long do I have to play for until I can make a pawn?
Not long, I don't think. Maybe like 2 hours, something like that. Hour and a half.
Oh, is that too much time for a prank? It might be. But now, have you got anything to wrap it up with, or?
Just that they do this really funny thing where your stamina and health and carry weight are based on the size and physique of your character, and I thought it would be really funny to make a really short guy surrounded by, massive Amazonian women.
Yeah.
Is the only people I hire in my party. And now I can't carry anything without. I run out of. My guy is like so unfit.
but you do have a harem of wonderful Amazonian women, so.
I do, yeah.
Who's the real
winner? They carry everything
here?
for me. Yeah, it's great.
Well, good stuff. Okay, so I'll wrap up this whole session then with what I've been playing. I didn't really have. I was similar to like Will. I hadn't really played much this week, but I hopped onto something. I think it was yesterday or the day before, almost randomly. And that game is a game. You're not going to guess what this is unless you saw me playing it. It's a game called House Flipper. So let me.
Whoa, okay. I didn't see this coming.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was so like out of nowhere. I saw this on Game Pass, and I was like, okay, this looks like a game that's just like you click a few places wrong and the whole thing falls apart, right? It feels and looks a bit jank.
Yeah.
So I passed it on Game Pass and ignored it, and then I was going through Steam because during the Steam summer sale, I always find it fun just to scroll through and just see what people are playing and what's being pushed and stuff. And I saw it again, and it had like really good reviews, and I was like, okay, whatever. It's on Game Pass, so I'll have a look. And it's actually pretty good. It's I do this every so often where I'll pick up a game that's just very very zen, I guess is the right way to put it.
Yeah.
Where it's just the music's really nice and you can almost just like you can tune out basically.
Hour wash simulator.
Exactly. Yeah, like weird little things like that. I played a game a while back called Unpacking on Game Pass as well, and that was just where you take stuff out of boxes and put them in a room.
Yeah.
And it's very similar, like it's zen.
Yeah.
But this game is almost exactly what you think it is, right? You have your own place. There's like two main parts of the game. So you have your own place, and it's an absolute shithole, and you can just do what you want to it. It's like a sandbox. And then in that sandbox, you have a laptop that you can accept basically missions. And a mission is basically it'll be some landlord or landlady be like, oh, students have ruined my house, can you come clean it? And you're like, okay. so you go there, you pull out your mop and you clean the dirt and you install a radiator and you hold a few buttons. It's not tricky, there's no fast-paced action gameplay. You can probably see in this video it's playing. You just clean and you just paint walls and then they're like, "Good job," and they pay you for it, and then you go do the next one. It sounds boring. It sounds boring as fuck.
No, it looks fun. How much is it?
It's on Game Pass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm playing it, because it's just like it was there on Game Pass.
Many DLCs. Are they included on Game Pass?
They're not, so that's probably why I guess it's on Game Pass, right? So you also pick up all the DLC.
Luxury and garden DLC for this game.
Yeah. That's the one thing, yeah. There's like, they always have horrible gardens and you can't touch them. It's like, oh, do I buy garden DLC?
Oh, that's really sad.
Oh, so this picture here, it's just like, it's like a crack den. It's like, go clean this crack den and you make it look really nice. And I'm really enjoying it. And I mentioned it, I'll like, it's not a lot else to really say about this, but I'll cap it off with, I was talking not long ago about how I wanted to make a video. Just because I'm feeling like very creative right now. I want to make something.
Yeah.
And I was playing this for an hour. And then I'm not sure if you do this, Will, because you make videos, but like as I was playing, I was making like little jokes in my head. This game is just like, you're knocking walls down, or like, you're cleaning scum and like semen off of walls. It's just like the jokes just write themselves. I was like, oh, fuck, I should have recorded this. So I'm not too far in. I might go back and just record gameplay and just see if I can do something with it, because I thought that
like a start to finish. Josh fixes a house. I'd watch that. That'd be pretty funny. Yeah.
But now people are going to know these jokes are pre-planned.
Oh, most videos are scripted. That's not.
This is all scripted. No one knows that.
Yeah, I'm reading a script right now. Open bracket. Shocked face.
Script?
Yeah.
Well,
that part was also scripted.
Actually, no, sorry. I mean, all of what I say is scripted. It's written by Josh, so anything I say that's bad is Josh's fault.
Yeah. You committed to one bit, and now you've just 180 done a different bit.
Well, luckily that was all scripted, so
exactly.
But yeah, if you want a game to just like completely zone out, this is on Game Pass, and I highly recommend it. Actually, it is like I said, it is a little bit jank here and there, but it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. I'm enjoying it.
I feel like I need a hook better than real life. I don't like, because everything you just described, I was like, that's what I got out of Shipbreaker. And I like that because it's zen and it's boring, but it's in space.
Yeah.
So you want House Flipper, but like it's a wizard's castle.
Yeah. I want Wizard Tower Flipper.
Yeah. But yeah, that's
I guess
that's what I've been playing, and for something I thought I would bounce off of really quick, I want to play more and just chill out and paint walls.
Yeah.
It's like a
I
whole.
might give it a go. It is on Game Pass. Yeah.
You can open a catalog, and it's just like, you have to put a beanbag in the room because they want a beanbag. So you choose a different. It's like very Sims, right? Where it's like, okay, what kind of beanbag do you want? What color do you want? Da da da.
Or kind of Animal Crossing.
Yeah, Animal Crossing
designer.
Yeah. Animal Crossing without any of the interaction stuff.
Well, that was Happy Home Designer. Like that game was literally just build houses for NPCs.
Yeah, I saw Laura playing a lot of that. But yeah, so there's also one last thing I'll say before moving on is one thing this game has that I didn't think it would have is very small like skill trees. So it's like you mop a floor for a bit, and it's like, good job. How do you want to improve your mopping? Do you want a bigger mop? Do you want a faster mop?
Oh my god!
That's if you need a small.
You didn't tell me it was an RPG.
I know, right? Yeah, if you want like a small hook, there you go. There's skill trees to do with like plastering and stuff. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. So I'll cap that off there. That's everything we've been playing for the week. So yeah, everyone go play House Flipper. It's Game of the Year. We have, so we'll move on to the next part. We have another question for the week.
Oh, okay.
So if I bring up this, here's a lovely stock image I found of a woman making a disgusted, smelly face. The question we have is from Siggy, and it's, what is like the worst video game that you've played, or that like that you remember? I guess I'll start quickly. I did play a bit of the original Final Fantasy XIV, which
you did?
That's a good one.
I did, yeah. That game was garbage. It was I pre-ordered it because I played so much Final Fantasy XI. I was really excited, for
I didn't know this about you.
I was really excited for a sequel. I didn't play much of this. Don't get excited. But I pre-ordered it, and because I pre-ordered, I got into the beta, and the beta for the original FF14, it threw everyone into. It was like Limsa Lamimsa, but it was like really scuffed. The graphics were horrific. There were 1 million players there, so the frame rate was awful. It had like really bad UI, and it was so bad. And I think I played it for like an hour, and I think that's the most disappointed I've come back from playing. You're so excited for something, and you play it.
Oh yeah,
and I was just like, what the fuck? This is so bad.
Just for those who don't know, Final Fantasy XIV launched, and then it was so bad.
Yes.
They took the servers down, fired basically everyone, got a bunch of new people in, launched it as 2.0 around Reborn.
Yes.
And now it's fantastic. But, that original launch was...
The original launch was awful.
Known for being
it
bad.
Was so bad. Yeah, because A Realm Reborn was the 2.0 release where they essentially nuked the planet as an excuse to completely relaunch the game. But yeah, that's what I played. What about you guys? Have you got any answers?
I think yours dovetails nicely into mine.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, here we go.
Which is, well, okay. I was going to be contrarian and throw this out because I thought this would be an interesting talking point. But I was going to say Final Fantasy XIV now.
Wow.
And only because, right? I think worse is like difficult to pin down, because I feel like as a sort of somewhat informed person who plays video games, about the industry. Yeah, exactly. I say with my little pinky out.
Yeah.
I just tend to not play bad games, It's rare that I will play something not having looked at reviews or
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Watched Twitch streams of it or whatever, to get a feel for it. So when the worst game you've ever played comes up, I just feel like it's a game that I had super high expectations for.
Yes.
And then the reality of actually playing it was just nothing like that.
Yeah.
And so I used to be a huge MMO player. My girlfriend as well, big MMO player. We've played WoW sort of at least every expansion we've at least dipped our toes into, in some form or another. So it was kind of like the way everyone talks about Final Fantasy XIV is like it's the best MMO that's ever been made. Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean, yeah.
It is, yeah.
And what, at the time, what a lot of people left out was that to get to the best MMO ever made, you have to slog through about 100 hours of terrible story.
Yeah.
Maybe not terrible, because you could be into it. I know a lot of people are like, but I feel like everything I read about it is like you have to get through the base game of Final Fantasy XIV, and I couldn't make it. That game has no respect for your time.
Yeah, A Realm Reborn, the base game.
Yeah, specifically. Yeah, the story is so awful. I hated all the characters, and it's not like in WoW where I could just ignore the story and just be like, oh, I can just have fun with the combat. I can hang out with my friends and do dungeons, and just ignore the story. It's like, no, we will sit you down and you will listen to this story, this 100-hour story that we're telling, to the point where we will make sure some of it you have to do on your own, because it's that important that we can't have your friend there and you can't be chatting with your friend. This is going to be solo content that we've put in our MMO.
Yeah.
And I couldn't stand it. I never got to the good part.
It's a shame because each expansion is basically a new.
They get
better, but each one, to back up what you're saying, each one is like an RPG on its own in terms of length.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, come play Endwalker. It's the greatest Final Fantasy story ever. But then you have to play Shadowbringers, which is 50 hours. You then have to, you have to play, like you say, like 150 plus hours of content before
Yeah, it was like me and Erin would have because I was playing with Erin, and I think she feels much the same way I do. Maybe I bulldozed her opinion, but we would have the wiki on one screen with just the list of story quests we had to get through, and it was like, it's like, all right, we're on to page 3 of 6 of the story missions. It's like, all right, we've got 4 more arcs in air quotes to get through, and then we can finally hit the first expansion. And I just never made it. I just couldn't do it.
It's such a shame because it does feel like you go all the Endwalker in particular, the newest expansion. The reviews and fan reception is so glowing.
Yeah.
And if someone comes at you as a new player and they're like, "Oh, this Final Fantasy 14 stuff seems amazing. How do I get into it?" I think I would be like, "Don't bother. You're too late. You're too late."
It's like when people would say, Game of Thrones before Game of Thrones went bad, when Game of Thrones was really good in season 5 or something, and someone's like, "Hey, shall I watch Game of Thrones?" And I'm like, "No, you've missed the boat. Don't worry about it. There'll be other great TV shows."
What do you mean? Season 1 to 3 was the good Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but I'm saying that.
Yeah,
4 and 5. But I'm saying there's so much of it, and the whole fun of Game of Thrones was being around everyone watching this show as it sort of came out episode by episode.
I will say though, for Final Fantasy 14, they have gone back. I think after you quit playing, they have gone back and cut out a lot of the Around Reborn stuff,
the fluff.
Trimmed a lot of the fat.
They cut a lot.
It was all stuff that I went past. Yeah, I'm past that bit.
And then also, I will say, they. For the first expansion, they replaced the whole voice cast, so then they become a bit more. They become a bit more likable with the new voices, and at the moment, every single patch they're going through, because I think their ultimate goal is they want this to be an RPG first and an MMO second, and so at the moment, what they're doing is they're going through and making all the mandatory dungeons, and sometimes the optional ones as well. You'll be able to do them solo with NPCs.
This doesn't solve Will's problem, though.
It doesn't solve Will's problem, but I feel like it's not a good MMO. Well, it's like a 6 out of 10 for an MMO, but 10 out of 10 for a story for me at least.
Yeah,
that early expansion, I barely knew the story too.
I've been very vocal in the past about how much I love this series, right? But I stand by that the worst part of that game is the gameplay and the MMO aspects. All I want out of it's like you say, they're turning it into a single player RPG, right? I'm kind of like, good. Get rid of all the server lag because it's not an MMO. Make it just an RPG I can play with a cool story.
Yeah. And I will mention that I was sort of softly warned that this isn't your conventional MMO before I started. So some of this is on me, but I wasn't prepared for just how sloggy that base game is. But anyway, that sort of spiraled. I didn't mean to cause such a discussion around that. I realized it's like, this is a problem for me. But what my actual answer is, I'm going to double dip. Was any of the Halos that 343 have released disappointing to me in that I just feel like
343 released
4, 5, and 6. 4, 5, and Infinite.
Okay.
Yeah. And I just feel like I know a lot of people are enjoying Infinite, like I know a lot of people enjoyed 5 and a lot of people enjoyed 4, but I feel like they have so far missed the point on what a good Halo game is, and I just don't have any. They've had 3 goes at it, 4 if you count the Master Chief Collection, which they also bungled, and I just feel like it's time to let that series die. Which sucks because I love that series.
I'm shocked that they keep getting chances to make new Halo games. I'm surprised it hasn't been passed on at this point. Like, there's it's not a news story, but there's the stuff coming up about how Halo Infinite is finally getting co-op for the campaign.
Yeah,
and it's like, that's a staple of all the other games.
And it still doesn't have Forge. It still doesn't have working theater or custom games.
8
and
months.
It's
insane.
And I'm like, I don't understand how they keep getting. It's like you watch the sort of how much stuff was in every Halo game was like getting better and better. 3 came out, it had Forge, it had theater, and then it's like since Halo 4, it's like less. They put less and less stuff in that. They fuck up something new every time.
Yeah, people don't like the gunplay.
Infinite launched with like nothing, basically. just no co-op, no Forge, no theater, no file browser, nothing.
It had multiplayer with a handful of maps, not a whole lot. No co-op campaign.
Yeah, basically no multiplayer modes. No multiplayer modes. Like, you can't play Infection. You can't even make Infection.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Oh God.
I'm angry for you.
Yeah, that's I don't think Halo is the worst game of all time, but for me, from my memories of Halo 2 and Halo 3 to what the series is now, I can't think of a worse game.
No, I'm full on board. My game is for the same reasons.
What's yours, Sam?
So mine, to go like 3 for 3 on Final Fantasy, is Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns.
Oh, yes.
This game, to this day, I refuse to accept as a Final Fantasy game.
You're no son of mine.
Final Fantasy has been... It was one of the first PlayStation 1 games I ever played, which was my first console, so it's one of the first games, pretty much, I ever played. Final Fantasy has always been my favourite game franchise. And that game was a joke. That game was an utter joke. Literally, I've never seen a sequel come out. Like, clearly after listening to Halo, that this is happening as well. But it's like, in a sequel, you're supposed to take what you've got and add more, or retain status quo. But it felt like in 13, which a lot of people will say they didn't like, and I get that. Whenever you say, "Oh, it's a good game," but you've got to play for 30 hours before you get to the good bit.
Oh yeah, you get to the open map in 13.
People are going to be like, "What?" Like, I get that, but it was actually an okay game. It was more of an interactive movie, but whatever.
Well, 13 was the corridor simulator, wasn't it? It went from Final Fantasy with big airships and flying around and stuff, and then 13 was corridor cutscene.
But if you actually went and just played that game just for what it is, that game is actually a fairly pleasant experience. And in 13.2, they were like, oh, people wanted, freedom. So then 13.2 was incredible. Like, it went from like a 6 out of 10 in 13 to like an 8 out of 10 in 13.2. It was a great game.
Really?
Very much. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I haven't heard that about 2.
Again, it was a sequel. They took it, they improved, and built upon what they had.
It's got a bunch of it's got like a bunch of monster collection and stuff in 13 too. Almost
you have 2 party members, and your third party member is like it's not like a Pokemon style monster collection, but like that's kind of what it is, to put it in simpler terms.
Yeah.
And then 13.3 comes out, which is Lightning Returns, and you are just one character. There's like it was kind of cool that they were trying to do some like Ocarina of Time bullshit.
Yeah, there was like time travel mechanics, weren't there?
Yeah, time passes and then you miss or fail quests because time has passed, and then you get to a section, and if it game's over, time then reverts back to the start.
Yeah.
And it was like, what killed it for me was the combat, because the very first fight I got into was against a normal enemy and took me 17 minutes to finish that fight.
Holy shit.
Because I picked a fight. Yeah, I picked a fight in like near a town against a mob that like I was not warned that like, oh, don't fight these mobs or anything. It's like, oh yeah, there's some monsters around here. You probably don't want to tangle with them. But it's like, it wasn't like they destroyed me. So they hit me and I went, oh, 14 damage. Yeah, I'll take that all day long. I can fight this.
To be
and
fair,
it took me 17 minutes to kill it. And I was like,
to be fair to the game though, you did die on the first mission of Gundam, so you
just saying. Watch yourself. I've tried multiple times to play that game, and if anyone ever asks me, oh, how did you like the 3 Final Fantasy 13 games, I will tell them there are only 2.
Yeah, you mean the 2? Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember. But then they'll think you're talking about the 2 sequels because 13 has all the negative press.
13.3 is a disgrace.
Yeah, I remember that game being
took the series and just took stuff out. They took away this like nice building your team aspect. Even in 13, the first one, you had 6 people and they all had like skill trees kind of. So you had your team of the people you liked, and then they then specialized into doing their thing.
Yeah.
So it had this aspect. Now it's like, now you've got one character. She does this stuff, and it's like, yeah, okay, there's some nuance to it. It's not just as boring as that, but it's still just one character.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a Final Fantasy game.
It's not what you don't want one character in a Final Fantasy game? Come on.
Well, the thing is I think it was they did like market research, right? And in Japan, they fucking love Lightning.
Yeah, but they pushed it so hard as well, so they fucked their own
fashion
numbers,
model.
But yeah.
But Lightning was like beating like Cloud and Tifa and stuff on popularity polls. So they were like, oh god, just make a Lightning game. People love Lightning. And then I think maybe that was good for, Japanese audiences. But everyone else was like, what the fuck? This character sucks.
Yeah, that game was ass. They took out a ton of mechanic, and like I can understand it was a cool premise, because anyone who's played, I think it's Majora's Mask, which is the one where like time passes and you have to like play around.
Yeah. You have the hard 3-day time limit.
Yeah, like it was trying to do that, which is a cool thing, I guess. But like, I have no idea if it was done well, because of the 4 times I played it couldn't keep me entertained for longer than an hour. Yeah,
I remember as well that game generally looking really bad. Like worse than the game before graphically, and people were like, "Why does this look really bad?" There was an image that was like a meme image, and I think it was of like a cat or something from that game, and it looked awful. Let me see if I can find it, because it was like Lightning Returns. I think it was a cat. It was either a cat or a cake or something. That's just Lightning in cat outfits. Good job. Good job.
Much for this very same reason.
There's a cat.
Yeah.
No, it was a dog. I just saw it.
Much for the same reasons.
There it is.
As, oh my god.
It's so
as
bad.
Will, it's a series that is very close to your heart, so that the disappointment is even higher, right?
Yeah.
Because there's been some misses in Final Fantasy, but I've always finished them.
I don't think the future won't look back at 13 positively as a series. I mean,
I can't get people to play 13 too, and I think that is genuinely one of the better, if not one of the best, Final Fantasy games.
I'm really tempted to play 13-2 just off your recommendation, because I'm one of those people that I played 13 and I got to that. There's that one bit where I think it's Lightning and the kid character, whatever it is, and it is literally like 8 hours of running down a corridor, battle, cutscene, where they just pout at each other, and then it's that for 8 hours. It just repeats.
The funny thing is, as well, is if you play 13 and skip cutscenes, all it actually is like boss battle, 3 battles, boss battle, 3 battles, boss battle, 4 battles. But again, it is what it is.
What's who are the protagonists of 13-2 again? It's Vanille and someone else.
No, it's Sarah and Noel.
Who's Vanille?
That's the annoying Australian girl.
She's not annoying. How?
Her voice is annoying.
People are like, oh, her voice is annoying. It's like, mate, she's just Australian.
No, it's
her entire voice.
Steve finds Australians annoying. He's told me
that you go Google her voice right now. Vanille, Final Fantasy 13.
Let's go kill God, mate.
It's a very soft voice.
Well, Fang is also Australian in that, and she sounds cool. Vanille is like,
put another chocobo on the Barbie. Okay, I'm done now. I'm done. Go on then, Steve. Forgot your name there for a second. Go on, Steve. What's your one?
I see. Well, other than like shovelware, the worst game I've ever played is Dark Souls.
Shut the fuck up. Let's move on.
No, I'm not. I'm not trolling at all. It's not.
What?
I'm not. It's honestly, thinking about it, I was like, that is the worst. And it's not the game itself. It is everyone who was a Dark Souls fan made that game awful for me.
Okay, so you hate Dark Souls fans, not Dark Souls.
No. Because no, but you're saying what was the worst game I played, and this was the game where I had the worst experience. Because for the longest time, I avoided the Dark Souls series because it's always the fans were so obnoxious. It's always like, oh, it's super hard. How many? You've got to die in that game. And just they were annoying. And so when I was gifted Dark Souls and I was quite happy to play it, I was like, oh, okay, I'll give it a shot. And I'm like a gamer who I've grown up looking up. I have a stack of guidebooks from my childhood. I loved looking up guidebooks. I don't like being stuck and helpless in a game.
Right.
And in this game, I streamed it. No one really wanted to help me with any directions. It was like, oh, which way do I go? Like, because I like open games where you get to explore, like Breath of the Wild. You could just go in a direction and you'll generally be fine.
Yeah.
Dark Souls, it feels like there are wrong ways to go and there are right ways to go. And no one wanted to tell me, and it wasn't super obvious in game which way to go. Like, I'd go down the path and be like, oh, the mobs here are taking forever, and people are like, well, go somewhere else then. Obviously this is an area you're meant to go for. And it's like, why not? And then it's like the systems are so bad in that game. Like, I have magic, but you only get like 8 spells. And it's like, okay, so I've got to save these for bosses, right? But then for me, I never struggled on the bosses. It was getting to the bosses that was the pain.
I think I'll play like devil's advocate slightly. What I will agree with is I think a lot of people's opinions of Dark Souls 1 specifically are of when they played it probably like a decade ago. When the gaming landscape was different. And
it's just incredibly hard, and people are always like, oh, well, we don't want an easy mode in it. Like, it's got to remain hard. That's the point of the game. It's like, no, you can still, like, if your game is reliant on being hard, that's, like, as its only feature. Is that good?
I think,
and,
yeah.
And it's like,
I'm struggling to strongly disagree, but
well, no, I'm just saying, it's like, for me, like, I enjoy games a certain way, and like, I for one loved Elden Ring. I think more than a lot of you guys who kind of soured on it a little bit.
You didn't finish it.
I haven't finished it yet, but I still want to. Shut up. But Dark Souls 1, it felt so janky. And just any wrong move, you would fall off and you would die. And again, this isn't the game. I wouldn't say. I still want to go back and play the game, and it might be fun. But just it felt clunky. It felt janky. I didn't get to experience the online because the servers were off for that part, and they're still not back up. That's why I haven't played it again. But it's just that, and then I was like, oh, I don't really care about like the min-maxing or finding my build. Can someone just tell me a powerful build? And trying to get that out of chat was like pulling teeth. I was just like, I don't care about this stuff. Just give me a build, please. And they were like, no, you've got to experience it. I'm like, that's not how I experience games.
Yeah. Again, I'll agree with you in the fact that you have gone from obviously Elden Ring. Or like those sorts of games with like 6 or 7 games worth of quality of life upgrades in its movement and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'll agree with you that I don't agree that it's a bad game.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm saying I had a bad experience. That's fine. That's the worst game I have played. And again, I'm not calling out anyone. Like, if people were like that with me, that is,
Yeah, Rick.
I did tell you were a bit. No, it wasn't Rick. It was, but it was, You like, it's fine. Like, everyone was like that with me. I was just saying, like, Dark Souls people made Dark Souls a bad experience for me. I was like, just tell me what to do and I'll have fun, like, going through the pathway that's intended-ish and having fun. But yeah,
being fair though, so Dark Souls came out ages ago, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's just sometimes going back and playing old games is like that. I went back and played Chrono Trigger. I had no nostalgia. I never played it as a kid, and I was just there, just like, I don't get it. How do people like this game?
I did the
that's
same.
Just how it is.
I played Chrono Trigger on DS like years afterwards, and I was like, oh, I find this game fantastic. There are so many features that I wouldn't have expected from a game that came out at roughly the same time as Final Fantasy VI. Like, the combo abilities. Like, I thought I was like, oh, in Final Fantasy IX, you have one character who can, like, Vivi, who can buff Steiner's attacks. But in Chrono Trigger, like, most characters can interact with each other. and I thought it was fantastic when I went back and played Chrono Trigger, like old. But yeah, Dark Souls, just it was a mere experience. But I'm excited to go back and play, and I feel like if I go back and play, I'm gonna try maybe do it 2-player. That might be fun.
Either that or do it without streaming.
But yeah, because those games are like you forge your own path. You're not supposed to like the builds, quote unquote, like is for when you understand what you want to do.
Yeah, you can get through those games with just a sword.
But
Yeah.
but I was just like I was like I don't like if I want to explore, I'll play like Breath of the Wild or something. But this game felt like there were too many wrong ways to go, and there was like no hints saying like, oh, that's the wrong way. You just have to go there and then you die, and that's how you find out like, oh, is this taking like half an hour to kill? And it's like, well, am I just underpowered, or is this area not ready for me?
Well, that's the idea is that there's always so many paths to take that if you can't go a certain way, you just turn left and go check out down there. Because
much like in Elden Ring.
Yeah, one thing that time won't kill for Dark Souls is that every area in that game is still really cool, and just going somewhere, it's like, that looks cool over there, I'm going to go check out that cave or that.
Light Town, I disagree, looked ugly, and I hated it.
Anyway, you got something to say, Will, you go.
Well, it's difficult because having just said Final Fantasy 14 to be kind of an asshole, I see where Steve is coming from, but it's difficult because I just disagree with everything that Steve just said. Just fundamentally, everything just was wrong. And it's like, it's his opinion, that's fine. But it's like, so much of that game is the joy of struggling and then being rewarded when you overcome something that you have been struggling with.
I'll agree with in certain regards, where if he had said Dark Souls 2, I probably would have been on board.
Because I'm one of those Dark Souls 2 defenders that I really like that game too.
Because I only like Dark Souls 1. I think after Dark Souls 1, I just stopped liking Dark Souls games, and I don't know why.
I like you say about the struggle, but like there's one game that I struggled with for a long time was World of Warcraft, the Tank Druid Mage Tower Challenge, which I did a bunch of the Mage Tower challenges, but the Tank Druid one took me over 100 tries. But that one, I had like a goal. I had like when I finished, I got a fancy bear skin for my druid. Whereas Dark Souls, it just feels like, oh, I'm playing it for the experience of struggling, and it's just pain. And
it sounds like if you killed a boss in Dark Souls that you struggled against, and they gave you a skin, would that push you more?
A skin from my MMO? Yes, I would be like, oh,
it's a skin for your Dark Souls, man.
Yeah, if it was a fancy skin.
So okay.
But I don't know. Like, I don't know anything. Like the thing is that people were like, "You have to go into this game blind." So I did go in blind.
Yeah.
I tried it, but I was just like, I'm not one. I don't like to be sat there struggling for hours, thinking I missed something. Like I will have guidebooks because I want to make sure I don't miss anything in a game. I will usually I will go.
Not be the series for you at that point, which is fine.
But then I love Elden Ring. Like Elden Ring had enough direction, whereas like I've got a rough idea where I'm meant to be going, so I know that there's like certain points where I'm like, if I can't fight this and the game has told me to go here, I need to power up to get to that point. There was like a clear progression for me, but I could also go and explore. Whereas Dark Souls, it felt very like you're in a corridor. And like, for example, I was in Blighttown. When I last played, and I was struggling, and I feel like I want to go and grind because every single time I die, I lose all my souls. So I'm not even progressing like in power. Where every single time I die, it just feels like it's time wasted. So it's like if I want to go out and grind in an easier area, I have to struggle to get back all the way through of the progress I've made already.
That's what I loved. That's what I missed,
though. I hate
That's what was missing from Elden Ring. The point of like,
travels.
I'm here now, and I'm going to fucking fight this stupid Blighttown until I best it on its terms, not mine. And I can't just back out and get stronger if I want. I have to either commit or I have to wimp out and climb all the way back out again.
Every time you do Blighttown and you get a bit further down, but then you die, you level up in terms of knowledge, and you know a little bit different way, you know how to tackle it a little bit different next time.
I'm dumb. That knowledge,
you find a shortcut.
Knowledge takes me longer.
You find a trick to killing the enemies really easily. Yeah, that's yeah.
I think
I will say I agree, Steve, completely that I think Dark Souls is revered, and Josh as well, revered for a great game of its time, and it's very difficult. I was shocked when I played with Erin because I was like, introducing my girlfriend to Dark Souls because it's one of my favorite games of all time, easily. And then I was like, but I remember it coming off of, like Josh said, improvements from Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, Sekiro, and now Elden Ring. And then you go back to Dark Souls and you're like, oh, I can only roll in 8 directions, and it feels super weird.
Yeah. I had the same thing with Laura. It's almost an exact mirror of, what happened with you and Erin. It's the exact same thing, where it's just like, she hadn't played it. And I'm like, you never played Dark Souls? Oh my god, I've never played the remastered version. Let's check out Dark Souls. And I played it, and we played it together. And it was still good, but in the back of my head, I was like, this isn't as good as I remember. It's still good, but it's not. Yeah. It's not what captured me that time ago.
I also think though that, like as you said, Will played with Erin, Laura played with you. I played by myself, so I didn't have like that beefy buddy there to help me when
No, playing solo.
Yeah, we're playing. Yeah,
I was just sat next to her.
Yeah, same. Yeah, she was on the stick, and I was just like.
And I also think this is sort of like both ways, but I think streaming it for the first session was a really bad idea, because I think you'll either get people telling you far too much, or I said far too little.
I know. I said to everyone, I said, please, I don't care. Just tell me. If I ask something, please just tell me. It was like pulling teeth. And also the game doesn't give you any tutorials. There was no hints for buttons at all.
There was.
Yeah, there was.
No,
I watched that stream, so I
was going to say. So my memories of that stream is Steve being handed a ridiculously overpowered build and then gloating every time he beat a boss, like incessantly, where he's like, "Oh, it's not. This game was hard," and it's like because you've got 40 people wikiing the best build for you at any given moment.
Oh, that's cute that you thought I had 40 viewers.
You wikied the fun out of your play. There you go. We've come to a conclusion. Steve ruined Dark Souls for himself.
I knew me saying Dark Souls with 3 Dark Souls fans I was gonna get bullied.
No,
I mean it's your opinion. Like I said, Final Fantasy 14, but also you're just completely wrong.
Okay.
Sure. This question has been amazing.
Yeah, it was fun. That was really fun.
I'm going to throw out, before we move on, one final one that I'll throw out there as like a golden turd award was Balan's Wonderworld, which looks like a really fun little platformer made by the guy that made Sonic and stuff, I think. And they had a demo for it, and it was fucking awful.
Yep.
Oh, I've got a fun one we can all rag on as well.
Yeah.
Fallout 76.
That game had a beta and it was terrible.
Yep. And me and Erin played it months after it supposedly had a bunch of fixes and improvements and expansions, and it was and as well, Erin is a massive Fallout fan, and it's Fallout with co-op with base building, so it should be an absolute easy slam dunk.
It's a perfect game.
And that game feels so just soulless. There is nothing interesting in it. It broke multiple times, even in the brief time we spent with it. That game is so bad.
That was Todd. Good job, Todd Howard.
It feels like co-op, like Fallout or Skyrim, should be so easy, and then you boot up Fallout 76, and you're like, how did they mess this up so bad?
Yeah.
Like, it's so down to the fundamental design decisions. It's just so in the wrong direction.
I remember, is it like a Joseph Anderson video where it's like a 2-hour-long compilation of Fallout 76 bugs?
Yeah.
And it's just fun just to watch it's just a video of just no commentary, just watch the game just break.
Calmly, like one by one, he's like, yep, this NPC just walked through a wall and never came back. And that's that bug. Number 43. Yeah, we had one where it was me and Erin, we were running around, we got to a fun little town, and then all of the walls just disappeared for Erin's game, and I was like guiding a blind person because I was like, no, honey, you're running into a bench. You need to back up, take 2 steps to the left, and then, keep coming this way. And then eventually it was like, oh, everything's popped back in. We're good again. Like,
that reminds me of a bug in PUBG when that game was really jank, but was the only good battle royale around. And sometimes when you parachuted down, the building walls just wouldn't load. So you would just see people running around in the air, like picking up stuff, and it's just like, this is. Am I cheating? Should I leave?
Funny, I remember well before I upgraded my machine, I used to have the bug in Hunt where it used to not render in any buildings, and Will would just be leading me, just like no, left, now vault.
We just had to get you out of that first area, and then it would all pop back in and be fine. Yeah, that was really funny. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you for the question, Siggy. If anyone else has any more questions that they want us to dive into and talk about for probably far too long, leave it in a comment below or send it in via email at thegameforecast@gmail.com. Let's move on to some news. I was talking to Steve a little bit before we went live. We were just hanging out. And there are news stories this week, but there's not a whole lot really going on. It's like kind of digging a little bit right for news.
Sweet, you can just wrap up.
So yeah, basically, see you later. No, we've got there are a couple of decent ones. So the first one, I was really into. I'm not sure if you guys are, but the new Skate game finally got a trailer. Have you guys played Skate before?
No, I've only played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater like 1 and 2 or whatnot.
Yeah, so people love Skate. I think there's Skate, Skate 2, and Skate 3.
Yeah.
And they're wildly popular. A lot of the time because it feels really good to play, but also there's like a bunch of like ragdoll stuff that's really funny.
Yeah, that's what I remember from the ragdoll physics compilations you could go and watch for about Skate. Yeah,
all the YouTube poops of just people doing cry stairs off of buildings and stuff. So people have been waiting for this for ages. And it's finally got a new trailer. Basically, they're saying they're still working on it and it is coming, but like, here's some stuff to tire you over, I guess, because everyone is when it's so bad. I'm just really excited for this. I played a shitload of Skate 2, I think, back in the day, and it's just really fun. This one's more, they're going for more of like the community aspect, which is obvious, right?
Like this kind of game with a big player count and a bunch of like fun editors and ways to make interesting like game modes. I think this could be really good.
I think this will be a real hit. Yeah, this will be really popular. I think it's like, what do people like about Skate 3 in the end? It was like you say, all the YouTube poops and funny videos of skateboarders just dying and blah blah blah. And big emphasis on this one of just play with a shitload of people. Drop in stuff to skate on.
Yeah,
and just have fun. And I'm looking forward to that. So
if this game is on Game Pass, I will play it. But if not, it doesn't seem like
this will be full price.
Could be, right?
EA Play Premium. This feels like the kind of game that could launch with a shitload of microtransactions for
Okay, yeah, Skate 4 free to play microtransactions.
Oh, so it's free to play. Okay, yeah.
No, I don't know. I made that up. That's what I'm saying. That's that would be ideal for me.
I think they'll because Skate is a very popular series. I think they'll have their cake and
try and copy.
Be a box copy with microtransactions out the wazoo. But I'll play it anyway because these games feel really good. You do all your tricks on the right analog stick. I don't know how you'll play on PC. You have to have a controller basically. But like by pumping the stick down and up really quickly, you do like an ollie, and then if you do like different twists with the stick, you do different moves. It's really good.
Yeah.
I love that game.
Yeah, it was fun.
But yeah, so that was that one. So just a trailer to again tire people over.
Does this trailer have like a launch date or something? Or
no, it's no sort of launch date. You can sign up. I think you can sign up for like an alpha.
Okay.
But the big thing about this, the fact that it's actually news, is because again people have been asking. They came out a long time ago and said, yeah, we're making it. Because there have been nothing for years. And now there's been nothing again for ages, and they finally released the trailer, and people are just excited.
When did they announce Skate 4 or new or whatever it's called? Skate Reborn.
Skate 4.
Skate Origins.
Skate 4 announced. Just seeing if I can find anything.
Because I swear it was ages ago.
It was a long time ago. It was announced as Skate 4, I think.
Yeah.
And now it's just Skate. So I'm seeing if I can find anything. just really quickly. I don't know, but it was there's been a long gap basically. But yeah, that was that one. The next one you had, I think Steve mentioned this first. This is about how Blizzard are basically buying the SpellBreak people. So there's like
that was because they just shut down, didn't they? They just shut down SpellBreak, and then it announced.
It was like same day.
It did feel like it did.
So yeah,
it's like in the same breath. Yeah.
Who here played SpellBreak?
I played it.
I played 4 or 5 rounds of it, and then I installed it.
So the people that made SpellBreak has been shut down, and they've all been gobbled up by Blizzard and World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Which kind of feels like a shame. I think we were talking about how it feels a bit like, all these people making this like not unique game, but like, different game just put into the salt mines of World of Warcraft.
You will make WoW content now forever. But in some ways, it's like, I mean, they're bought by Blizzard and they're making WoW stuff. They must be doing okay for themselves, Oh,
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame because SpellBreak, even though I didn't click, it was like there was something there. If it could maybe had a bit more time or money or something, it could have been like a really good game. Like the mechanics and like the magic felt very, because like it was very movement heavy, and the idea of SpellBreak was that you would go around as a battle royale and find spells in the world, and then you'd have like one on your left and one in your right hand, and you could combine them, and it was like it was extremely interesting to play, but it was a bit basic in some areas. Like the map design was a bit basic, and I think I mentioned previously, friendly fire in that game was a mistake. But it's a shame that it died, and then it's like, they're going to Blizzard, and they're like, okay, these people aren't doing anything interesting. They're going straight to WoW, like,
Yeah.
Well, did you say it? So it was free to play on the Epic Game Store, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I played like a handful of matches, and similar to like Naraka Blade Point, I was like, okay, cool. See you later.
Yeah, it was one of those like it felt like it had a really high skill ceiling, and it's like if you want to get competent at this game, you're going to need to put the work in. And I'm like, well, yeah, or I could just not.
Yeah, exactly.
I can play somewhere else.
That's it. It felt like it's like it's a game you have to put a lot of time into. It should have been just that I'm just going to boot it up and play some casual, like throw magic at people's faces,
Yeah.
So they've all been chucked onto what is it, Dragonflight. To help the launch of that be as smooth as possible.
Because that's coming out this year somehow. Not even a beta announcement.
You said that, and I still haven't looked up if that's true or not.
They pre-orders, and pre-orders have said it coming out before 31st of December.
Okay, because sometimes you just say things.
Shut up.
Could just be filler text though, right? Like
it could be fit. Well, I mean, they'll if they need to, they'll be like, we're delaying it. Sorry, like every game does.
Yeah.
But they're committed to maybe on good faith releasing it this year.
Yeah, World of Warcraft Dragonflight will be available on or before December 31st, 2022.
Mm-hmm.
That's the last day of the year.
Literally, it doesn't fill me with confidence.
They won't do it if they release it. They won't do it on the Christmas holiday. It'll be like early December, I'm assuming.
But then
I mean, that's just reserving 2022, isn't it? That's all that's doing. Yeah.
Yeah, but then why not? It's so you never see people put December 31st. It's normally like it'll come out 2022.
Well, they have to if they're selling it. If they're selling it as a pre-order, they have to put down an estimated date, and it has to be like a reasonable estimated date as well.
I feel like I've seen stuff be pre-ordered before without a date. Is that a legal thing?
I'm not sure, but I think it is a legal thing though now for some countries.
The issue is, right, I played Shadowlands, and that game was not ready to come out. That game was rushed. And now I feel like, are we really, are they ready to release another WoW expansion after that shenanigans?
I've heard similar stuff, but you have to remember for this one, they're removing the borrowed power. Like, they're going back to, like, basic bare bones talent trees and stuff. And there's not very many features in this one. So where it's on a smaller scale, they probably can rush it out because they're not going to be, like, crazy balancing like they had to do with the Covenants. It was like, every class basically has 4 different things we have to balance around with every single spec as well. And then we're adding the Torghast Tower, which is like this roguelike tower sort of thing with all these extra features, whereas Dragonflight has none of that so far announced.
Sorry, you go ahead.
Sorry. I was going to say, and I assume they're not going to announce anything major feature-wise still for it. So it's literally just like, oh, it's an expansion. It's going to be raids. We're redoing the UI slightly, and we're cutting out the borrowed power and just doing talent trees. Back to old talent trees now. You know?
The correct answer is, are they ready to release an expansion or not? The answer is, they are not prepared.
This could get released Christmas time next year, and I think I would still ask, is it ready to be released?
They need to show. They need to show.
Shadowlands can't last for another year with nothing.
No, I know.
Been milked dry. There's nothing left.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that was that one. We've had plenty of Dragonflight discussion across the last few episodes. If people want more of our opinions,
I can't believe we found another way to talk about Dragonflight.
I was still talking about this news story, and then Steve started describing Dragonflight again. I'm like, oh, again, there we go.
I'm sorry.
That's how I felt with the Elden Ring discussions. I remember when Elden Ring came out every week. It was
we talking about Elden Ring? Because I have more opinions. I wish to share now.
Next news story is there was a Nintendo Direct Mini.
Yes.
I watched this today because I thought, if we're going to talk about it, I should at least watch it. Don't think I needed to.
Yeah, you didn't.
I didn't know this was a thing.
There was YouTube timestamps.
Yeah.
I see Bomberman though, so I'm all in.
There is a new Bomberman game, but again, it's like they showed it, and it's like, yep, it's Bomberman again.
The thing that I got from this was it was Mario and Rabbids was like the big new thing, and then there was a lot of ports of games coming to Switch.
So
good games, but they're on Switch, so they're going to be bad.
If anyone is watching, you can see on the screen here everything they announced or showed. Like Steve said, there's a lot of sort of ports and things like that. You got Nier Automata coming out on Switch. How that will run, I have no clue.
It's got two colors in it, so it can't.
That's true. There was they showed Dragon Quest Treasures.
Wasn't sure what that was.
It looks like let me bring it up.
Sounds like a mobile game.
It kind of is. Yeah, it's not. It's certainly not a proper Dragon Quest game. It was like you collect a few monsters.
I hate Dragon Quest mobile games because they've suckered me in a few times where it's like, oh, this could be good, and they are the most cash grabbiest mobile games
I'm sorry.
you've ever seen. Sorry, what?
We've literally just come off of the back of Diablo Immortal, so...
Oh, true. Diablo Immortal was worse, but it's like, I just want Dragon Quest. I liked Dragon Quest Monsters. Like, I've never played a proper Dragon Quest, but I've played Dragon Quest Monsters. And I could play a Dragon Quest game, mobile game, and they are always so bad and so egregious. Usually,
it's just that is just every mobile game, though. I'm afraid.
I'm ready for Dragon Quest 12 now. It's like I played that's not true. I play Dragon Quest Builders 2, and that's really really good.
Great game.
That's really good. But other than that, yeah, I thought
I was giggling at the giant statue of the dragon, and then it said iconic in all caps, and then the guy collected like 50 billion gold or something. That's very funny to me.
It's iconic.
Yeah, it's iconic. Yeah, look at that.
It looks a bit like Ridley.
Yeah, it does.
What else was there? There was
Portal is out. Out now. Portal
if you missed Portal somehow, like Steve.
If you somehow haven't played Portal yet,
shock.
They also announced Sunbreak was coming out.
Yeah,
Monster Hunter Sunbreak.
So maybe Steve will
play
play
that. Is that not out on Switch yet?
So this
is a few days old.
This is a few days old, and it was fresh at the time.
They were like out now, right? Okay.
All the Persona games coming to Switch, which we know now they're coming everywhere, basically.
Yeah.
What else was there that's worth talking about? There was a new Square Enix game called Harvestella.
Yes, this looks like almost like Rune Factory, where it's like Harvest Moon. But it's also like a JRP dungeon crawler sort of thing as well.
It looks a lot like Rune
Factory. That's Rune Factory.
Yeah. So I think this will be a Sam game for sure.
Skip too far there. Yeah, it's like it definitely looks very Square Enix-y.
Yeah, but just at the end there, it looked like that was very action RPG.
Yeah, see if I can find. Here's some farming bits in the video.
Which, speaking of Rune Factory, that game on Rune Factory 5 is coming out to PC not this week, but I think next week. So.
Oh, you can talk about that your upcoming games bit at the end.
Well, it's not this week,
on board for this trailer, right? Oh,
yeah. Oh yeah, it's got combat.
I'm out.
Yeah, action RPG, I'm afraid. What did you want? Turn-based? What did you want? Turn-based?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, always. I just still can't. Action RPGs just don't click with me.
That's fair enough. You're gonna hate FF16.
Yeah, I mean, I struggled with 15. I got through it because it was a good game, but it really was a struggle sometimes.
Yeah.
So I just don't like action RPG.
Right, and I think other than that, that's like
what was that Bomberman thing? Sam was interested in that.
Let's have a quick look. Where is it?
And of course there was Mario and Rabbids too.
I like Bomberman, right? I know I like the series, but Bomberman is just Bomberman. But there was one GBA game which was like incredible and blew my mind.
Was it the one with pets or cards or something?
It had like 100 collectible
monsters.
Yeah,
I think I played that one.
That was Bomberman Adventure or something. I think on Game Boy Advance. I had the same one.
Yeah.
Oh, that one
I think it might have even been called like Bomberman Tournament Advance.
Maybe,
something.
Yeah.
And it had like a single player mode, and it was just great.
It was an RPG, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Let's see if we can find it. This is Bomberman. You know, it's literally it's just
base building. What?
It's Bomberman. Don't get excited. What's this? So Bomberman Tournament? You reckon?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this is it. Bomberman Tournament Advance. It did have like a JRPG with monsters.
I got it in one.
Didn't that Bomberman Battle Royale just shut down?
Which one?
Might have done. Bomberman R? I've got it on Steam.
Battle Royale. Yeah, I played it for a bit.
Super Bomberman R Online.
I remember this on GBA. Christ.
Yeah.
This game was great. I had this. I remember getting this for my birthday with a like purple see-through Game Boy Advance.
It was a good game. I loved it.
It's GBA.
Nintendo, please give us the older GBA games, or put them on your eShop already.
That's the thing, though. If they did that, I wouldn't buy it and play it.
No,
I like that game, but I wouldn't go back and play it. What I want is a new Bomberman RPG.
Bring back Morbius.
More.
And then don't watch it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at. Bring it back. Okay, here it is. No, I don't want it though.
Okay, but that was a pretty good Nintendo Direct for it not being. It was a partner showcase. It wasn't like first party games.
Yeah, it was cack.
So it was good for what it was.
It was cack.
It was cack. Steve's trying to be nice. It was cack. I think Steve posted an image of like what could be coming. Look at these like bingo sheet, and I was like, none of that's gonna be there. You're insane.
To be honest, I only watched the Sunbreak trailer that came out, and it was like, it makes me even more hyped for Monster Hunter. Then the rest, I just like, timestamp Portal, Nier Automata. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I did. So.
I don't really watch launch trailers anymore. I watch trailers for like hype, like months or week, really long way out. But like if it's for a game that I'm literally playing like tomorrow, I don't normally watch.
Yeah, it seems silly to watch a Monster Hunter Rise trailer when I'm playing it. When I know I'm gonna play it. Yeah.
It's a bit like the Elden Ring trailer, but like that came out like a day or two before Elden Ring, or maybe like a week or so. That was such a hype trailer, and I know a lot of people skipped it because they were like, "I don't want spoilers," but that trailer was so good. Not
trailers are there to interest you and make it's like marketing. I don't need to watch a trailer for a game I know I'm gonna buy.
True, but I'm just saying like it was a shame that a lot of people skipped it because it was like. I would like have given that trailer an award, for like getting me interested. In the game.
You give it an official Stevie award.
Yeah, I'd give it a quick Stevie.
All right, so next news story: Spain about to go ham on loot boxes.
So I assume this is going to be like the Netherlands and Belgium.
Possibly, yeah. They just outright ban them. Yeah. So I read this news story earlier, but basically, it's like. Spain, I think they did. Let me see if I can find it in here. It was like asking Spanish students, 3 in 10 had purchased like loot box microtransactions in games, and it's like the normal thing. All the psychology and stuff behind it. They're like, yeah, we're just gonna.
Well, that's not too bad. There are the whales, and the rest can play the games for free.
Well, it's just one of those things where a lot of it's just like it's the obvious stuff that has been discussed to death, right? They haven't said how they're gonna do it yet, but they're gonna introduce some kind of law to stop or at least drastically reduce loot boxes. So.
I hope it's done better than in the Netherlands and Belgium, because they can't even do like Twitch predictions, because it's like that counts as gambling. Even though it's just like, it's channel points, it's fake currency that you're going to just like gamble for nothing, for more fake currency.
It depends. Like the Twitch one, I like you say, is a bit like weird because there's no real money physically involved, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all channel points, but then loot boxes, all of the stuff around that's real money being thrown around, and
I would like if maybe like the European Union or something would come to like a consensus, being like, we'd like games to be better with loot boxes, not like outright ban them maybe, but like just be better with them.
I feel like
then we can
sometimes it is a bit scammy.
Yeah, we're not in the EU anymore.
Spain says to EA, "Can you please be better with your loot boxes?" EA responds, "No." But yeah, that was that one. This was the start of the kind of not sad, but the slightly depressing news stories. So you had this next one really sucks. It's so in that Nintendo Direct Mini, there was a trailer for the new Monkey Island game. And obviously Monkey Island is a very old and beloved franchise. And the Return to Monkey Island creator, who is obviously working on this new one, will no longer talk about the game following a bunch of abuse that's being sent towards him and the staff based on the new game.
What's controversial about it?
So the controversial part of it is the art style, basically. If I play this, if I just sort of skip forward in this, I don't love it. It is a very weird art style, especially compared to like old Monkey Island.
Well, yeah, but you are completely entitled to go online and say, I don't like the new Monkey Island art style. What you are not entitled to do is send emails to the people who are making that game.
Yeah, and like death threats,
and sending them insults and death threats. Yeah, which is absolutely over the line.
Yeah, so the guy is Ron Gilbert, who's a very big name in like adventure games going back years and years and years. It's also quite sad as well because I think I mentioned a while back, I'm watching the documentary right now about Broken Age.
Yeah. And
how that was developed and kickstarted and stuff. And in the first sort of handful of episodes, he's in it a lot. Because obviously it's adventure games, right?
Yeah.
And he's just a guy. He's a cool guy. He just likes making games.
I've seen interviews with him, and he definitely seems like one of those people that's just like he just does this because he loves it, and then he kept getting success. He kept making hits, so people kept bringing him back to make more things, and he's like just a guy that everyone really likes.
Yeah, and that's why this is kind of sad when I was reading it. Cause it's like normally it's quite a sad-ish story anyway, but like I know the guy's face. I've seen him in all those documentaries. It's like, it's that guy. He's being death threatened.
Yeah.
That kind of sucks, but yeah. Don't throw abuse at game devs. They're just making games. Bit shit.
Yeah.
That was that one. This next one is really, really quick. So Sucker Punch make Infamous 2, and like Ghost of Tsushima and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And people are quite like clamoring for something to do with Infamous. Because that franchise is really popular, and they put this out July 1st, a couple of days ago. They're updating some of the servers for Infamous 2, which is like a PS3 game, because it's got like some weird level creator stuff, and just throwing it out here in this update thing. They've just said they have no plans for any Infamous or Sly Cooper games. So it's just like a deconfirmation of anything, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you need to do that these days because any whiff of something and people go crazy. Like, there's not even a hint for Bloodborne 2, but every Game Award now, like all through Summer Games Fest, it was like Bloodborne Remaster, Bloodborne.
Yeah.
You know, it's like people are just foaming at the mouth.
Yeah, this basically reads as they're touching some stuff with Infamous and them also going like, calm the fuck down. This doesn't mean anything. We're not doing anything Infamous. We're very sorry, but we're not. So, I
guess that at least is good. It's not like, you know, at least they're not in the same state Mass Effect is in now, where, you know, it's coming maybe at some point. They keep showing teasers. Yeah, we promise we're making something. Yeah.
We had our artist here at the studio make 2 pieces of concept art. Mass Effect is back, baby. It's like, oh, that game's not real.
yeah.
But that was just a deconfirmation of all that stuff. And then the last story we have, to carry on tradition week by week, Steve's going to read this one because he posted it at the last minute. So go for it, Steve.
The day, what's it called? The day before.
The day before, yeah.
The day before, which is the most wishlisted game on Steam, which is that zombie MMO looking like the Division kind of game. They apparently have put out on their website they're looking for unpaid interns to work on their game for stuff like localization and translation and all that.
Yeah, moderation as well, like for forums moderation. And stuff.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, they're basically this game again, most wishlist game on Steam ever.
Yeah.
So it's got a lot of hype behind it. Is asking for free work because this game we've talked about it before. There's so many red flags for this being a bad game, even though it looks like it might be good.
I think I stand by what I said before, where I don't think this game is real.
Yeah. It got delayed until March of 2023 because they updated the engine to Unreal 5 or something.
Yeah. That was the last news story we did on this, I think. That was about 5 or 6 weeks ago, I think.
And now the fact that they're like, we're looking for passionate fans who want to just give us their time, but they have to be qualified to do so. And it's just like, it's sad. It's sad when a game that potentially has this much hype is like, come work for us for free in an industry where it's already like some game devs are criminally underpaid and treated poorly.
Yeah, where crunch is rampant and game dev generally isn't paid as well as, you know, software engineering non-game roles. It's like, also come work here for free.
Yeah, I think they did say it was like you'll get game time or something, or some sort of
free codes.
Yeah, free codes. So you get free game codes to give out to your friends, I guess.
Lols.
It's weird.
Sad. Well, very sad.
Do you guys fancy like applying just to see what happens? You know?
No.
But
it says you get participation certificates, whatever that means.
How do you feel?
Those have a monetary value.
How do you feel about working on it, Will, and getting us some codes as opposed to like, you know, applying?
It would be fun to do, you know, like a Vice style investigative journalism.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Actually,
unpaid work that goes into Steam's most wishlisted game. I feel like that's an easy one, an easy slam dunk.
Yeah, we get work. You know, we work on it, and then wear hidden cameras.
Yeah,
expose it all, and we're like, it's jokes on you. I'm part of the Game FourCast, bitch.
They'll work on localization and make all the spelling mistakes.
Yeah, I'm gonna put like Quikwix all throughout the translation and just say it's like a.
Oh yeah, you can put yourself in as Easter eggs in the localization, didn't you? You're like, I can speak Spanish, and it's like, Josh.
Yeah, I'll put your imp I'll put your imp render under desks and stuff as like a little hidden texture.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that story, and that's the last one of the week. As I said, it's no bangers of stories this week. It's
there's also no releases coming out this week.
Banger of a question.
Well, go for it.
Oh no, I think he's saying that was a banger of a question that we.
Oh shit! Oh,
Josh has already forgotten what happened like less than half an hour ago.
Where am I? What's going on? Did you say there's no releases, Steve?
The only one that is maybe out that looks interesting was
Uncharted.
Shut up. Was
still waiting.
Well, it's Cloner, like Fantasy Reverie series. I think that's the 1 and 2.
Do you say Clonoa?
Yeah, Clonoa. Yeah, that one. I don't know how to say it. That one. Yeah, I've seen that game, like title before, so it might be popular. I'm not sure.
They're really old, like Sega platformers, right?
Yeah,
or like Dreamcast.
That came when you bought a PS2. They came with a demo disc that it came with this game.
Yeah.
That's all I know about it. That just conjured up like a memory for me. I know nothing else about this game.
You're sitting there spaced out.
Yeah, literally.
Oh my god.
The like
yeah
noise played in my head, and I was like, I've been here before.
Core memory unlocked. What else, Steve? There's got to be something.
That's basically it.
No, come on, Steve.
You holding out on us, Steve?
I bet he is. Yeah.
No.
I bet
he's worried about making another Uncharted claim, isn't he?
I bet Uncharted is coming out.
Later on this month, we've got Rune Factory 5. We've got Stray, the cat game, but that's still several weeks away.
Stray.
And we've also got Digimon Survive and Xenoblade Chronicles 3 at the end of the month. But again, that's weeks away. So
yeah, we'll talk about that when it's more relevant. I'm just looking at Uncharted on the Epic Game Store.
Okay.
Coming soon, apparently.
I didn't realize you were such a fan. You should go watch the new movie.
I have seen the new movie's great in a really stupid way.
Mm-hmm.
Is that out yet? Can you watch that on like Netflix or something?
I don't think so.
Have a look.
That'd be like a good little viewing party
We need to do another TV section soon, because I've been watching a lot of really good TV recently.
Have we all watched Stranger Things?
No, I've got one more episode left.
Darn it, Josh.
So you got 3 more episodes left.
Basically, yeah. You say darn it, Josh. It came out, like 2 days ago, and it's like 4.5 hours worth of TV.
I am actually annoyed by the internet, because I've started tweeting, I'm on Twitter now.
Mm-hmm.
People's flagrant disregard for spoilers about Stranger Things is frankly, it's appalling. I knew 2 characters at least survived the finale because people were going nuts over there.
Yeah.
Like people were tweeting, "Thank God this guy survived," and it's like, that's not on, man. That's not cool.
That's just Twitter.
Less than a day
generally.
after it came out.
Yeah. The trick is to stay away from like trending pages on social media.
Yeah.
Just have your timeline, and that's it. Just keep it simple, because otherwise, you just get spoilers everywhere. I think it was the first batch of episodes of Stranger Things for this season. I had a bunch of stuff spoiled just because I open up Twitter and it's like, oh yeah, trending. Oh, this character doing this stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay, fine.
Yep.
Oh yeah, especially like there was a song that was made popular.
Yeah.
And that was everywhere
funny.
Straight away.
That was funny because once you realize it's like they're talking about music, I'm like, oh, that is why this song is now top of the charts again. Yeah. That was a really funny like music spoiler.
I have listened to that song several times.
I also think like Netflix itself somehow spoiled me as well, just the actual app for Stranger Things. We booted up season 4. This is obviously quite a while ago now.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to go on episode 1, and for whatever reason, the thumbnail that it just defaulted to before we even started the season was a certain character like floating in the air.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay. because at the time it makes like no sense, right? There's no context, and then you watch one episode and you're like, oh, okay. Fuck's sake.
I will say finale was fantastic, though. I want to talk about it.
Yes, dude,
we can save that.
We'll commit to next week then, because I think I should have finished it by next week. So
we should all finish
season 4.
No, I don't watch TV, so.
Sam can bow out of that part.
Yeah.
We should all finish Obi-Wan, and we should finish Stranger Things.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Next week we'll do a big old TV discussion of Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And
what just like
Things.
As the gaming world like erupts with drama next week, and we
4-hour long podcast. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Bloodborne Remastered will be announced tomorrow morning anyway.
Oh yeah, yeah. Why are they not talking about Bloodborne Remastered on the podcast?
Because Obi-Wan was several weeks old now.
All right, let's wrap this up. Thank you for listening, everybody. Thank you for making it to the end if you've made it this far. As always, I am Josh, BottlerWorks. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at the same handle.
Twitch?
Oh yeah, and YouTube, everywhere. I don't use them. Just, follow me because I like to see the number go up.
Okay.
How about you, Will?
I'm Olive Meister or Olive_Meister, just everywhere. You know where to find me.
Steve.
I'm Quikwix. That's QUIKWIX. Come join my Discord. You can find it by typing !Discord in my Twitch. It's a lot of fun there.
Yes, that's easy. It's like 4 steps just to get to your Discord. That's fun.
Just do it. Just go there.
And Sam.
I'm Sam. Go follow Steve. Go on.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, in real life.
Yeah, come follow me. We'll go on a
Okay, first you have to send me a telegram, okay? Then in 3 to 5 weeks I will write back to you with a URL that you must follow.
Bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
There will be a number on that.